right? This sense of everyone being in danger, everyone being at risk of losing the bit that you have. And I don't want to use that to extricate racial animus, to like say, oh no, everyone's just afraid, that's why they're no, I don't want to jump into that area, but that sense of unnerving panic, where we're in this perceived sense of scarce resources and scarce availability and scarce opportunity, and the vulnerability to really fall prey to any number of systemic potholes and weaknesses. So I think there's an opportunity to talk about this as, if we examine systemic weaknesses, we hopefully will find them, and hopefully over time address them. And so the opportunity to fix that, or to address it, it's in everyone's interest. That'll help everyone. I don't want to use that to hide the discussion of racism, but I think it's just parallel to this discussion. So
if I add to what Phil was saying, racism doesn't only affect people of color, it affects white people too, right? And we could just go into these different theories about how racism has been a useful tool for the rich whites to shift the complaints away from them to somebody else, right? Thereby pitting them against each other. So yeah, it's like what Thomas Jefferson said. He said that we need schools so that people will not be swayed by people with more influences, and we need education. We need to talk.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we also have to organize, because I feel like there's so much about this that I want to get out there, but there's big money going into the anti-CRT SEL movement. There's Heritage Foundation connections. There's big national organizations that have a lot of money that, and I'm sure ALEC, the American Legislative something commission, I don't know, now I'm losing its words, but it's a bill mill where they write these bills and then they send them off to different states. I'm sure they're part of writing the bills against these curricula. And so I think that we have to think about, like, on a couple levels. One, about having conversations with the people in our families and the people in our neighborhood about what this stuff is and how it's not to be afraid of, and help kind of nudging the people we love and have connections with. But then I think that we have to be organized, like the Red for Ed movement is. We have to be organized, maybe under that mantle or some other mantle, about how, these are the schools in our communities and we care about what happens there, and we are not going to let, national right-wing organizations tell us what to do. We want experts who are teachers, who are people who are researching pedagogy, and who are sensitive to the communities in which they teach, to be writing the curriculum. That's what we need. And so I think that there's like a couple levels here. And one of the ways we can organize is by getting on school boards. And so I think that that's a really good point that Kristen makes. And, maybe, I don't know. I would love to hear people in the chat put what you think that we should be doing, because I think that we need to be thinking together as organizations like Muncie Resists, and then in all of our different capacities, about how we can work together to fight for our schools and for our community's children. That was a little bit soapboxy.
But it is a good soapbox, so that's great.
Yeah, Mary here in the chat says schools should be communicating with parents about what they are doing. And I think that, maybe they are, but that's a great point, Mary, that I think that parents need to know from the schools and from meetings with their teachers about, what's happening in the classrooms, and maybe that'll dispel some of the fear. But I think Molly is right. We've been very reactive, and we need to start to be a little more proactive. Right on, Molly. Gilbert, yeah, please.
No, sorry, I was. It's about 8:12, So
Yeah, we
unless you
need
had additional questions or thoughts, we want to get everybody, well, not on the road because everybody's digital, but people have other things to do. They have stories they need to go attend to. We want to thank everyone for coming out tonight digitally and engaging with this discussion. And we especially want to thank Dr. Rutter, who couldn't be here but was engaged in the preparation for this event, Dr. Cipollone and Dr. Park. Thank you to each of you. Also, thank you to Jason Donati, who attended the recent Purple for Parents Education Summit in Muncie and shared what he learned with us. And we also want to thank Cameron Grubbs for helping us out with our graphics and making things look very pretty. Sarah?
Yeah, I'm like looking in the chat. So we are going to communicate with you about future events. We're very excited that you attended tonight. In the meantime, know that Muncie Resists holds a public meeting on the second Wednesday of every month at 7:30 via Zoom. And at each meeting, we focus on responding to an issue facing our community. And at our next meeting on Wednesday, the 13th, this coming Wednesday, we're going to talk about an organization in Muncie that is working to respond to the Afghan resettlement situation in town. That there are several Afghan families who are being resettled here in our community, and we're excited to welcome them. And this group called MARC is doing work at that, and we're going to learn about how we can help. And we will definitely have more conversations about this. We're an indivisible group, and we are looking forward to having more disinformation series. And so if there's something that you think is a pernicious element of disinformation and you want us to do an event on it, we'd be glad to. And I just want to give Kristen and Gilbert a chance for any last words or any goodbyes for our audience.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun to be in a group of like-minded people, and then just seeing this group present in this community is a very encouraging and very empowering. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, I would also just like to say thank you so much for the invitation to be here. This was a very enriching conversation. I'm honored to be on a panel with Gilbert and Emily, even though Emily wasn't here. So I really just appreciate this opportunity. I think these are important discussions that we need to be having. And I mean, public schools, you need a functioning public school system if you want a functioning democracy. So yeah. I think that these conversations are essential and important. So I'm really happy that I had the chance to be here. So thank you. And thank you to everybody who was here.
And I see one question I want to respond to. Molly asks, if you can't attend our meetings, we will be sending you emails about how to help with MARC. And so we have your email for attending this event, and we'll communicate with you. Thanks so much to everyone, Gilbert and Kristen. This was really great to talk to you. I feel very fortunate that you two are educating our future educators in Indiana. I don't know how we could go wrong with people like you in Teachers College. So thank you very much. Good night,
everybody. Everybody have a good night. We need outro music. Do, 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 do.